Hey guys, sorry it's been a while. Real life got pretty busy for me. And since I did the last video on the low hanging fruit and asked for the community suggestions, unfortunately the Elite community has gotten some bad news. That consoles will no longer, Odyssey for consoles is no longer being worked on, so they're going to be stuck on Horizons. Horizons for PC will no longer be supported either. They're just moving forward with one code base, which is Odyssey. Unfortunately, that makes anything in this video even more unlikely to happen. However, you guys have come up with some great suggestions, and I just want to highlight them because I think they deserve that at the very least, and who knows, FDev could change its tune. Things could be going completely different in a year from now, and some of these could be a realistic possibility in the future. However, unfortunately right now it does not look that way. Now, I don't think I saw any bad suggestions on my previous video, so if I don't get to yours, it was probably either a mistake on my part or I did not feel like it fit with what I was going for in this video, so don't take any of it personally. I think I got a whole bunch of great suggestions. Now, I will be showing all the comments. I will be showing pictures of them in the back of the video. I'm just going to be kind of commenting and reading the parts that apply to this video, but you can pause the video and look at all the suggestions if you wish. And also, some of you I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your names because I know I'll just butcher it, so please bear with me on that. So kind of the format of how I'm going to do this is I'm going to cover the commenter's name, and then I'm going to go over the comment or the suggestion, and then I'll do a little bit of commentary on it about what I think they're going for and kind of my thoughts on it. If I mess up your comment or like didn't get quite what you mean, let me know down in the comments below and I'll pin your comment so that people can go down there and read what you actually mean if I mess it up. So for the first person, we have the username for the commenter is no name, and he has several suggestions, so let's jump right into it. Factions and conflict between them, they couldn't think of anything better than different guns from each faction as a motive for boosting their reputation. So I think he's just talking about like power play, and like it's not really in depth. Like you sit there for 4 weeks and then you get your weapon and then you just switch factions. And usually, like I think I'm just set on a faction right now. It was the last one I earned stuff for recently, so like I'm not really doing anything in power play. It just lacks substance and like real reason to engage with the system at all. So I think he just wants more substance with the power play system to kind of make more probably different opportunities, maybe PvP, PvE, stuff like that, just some more stuff to keep him engaged with the game. The next suggestion is having structures in space. They never came up with a way for players to control them and more for them. Now, I do believe with the BGS you can control a system, but or a station or whatever. It's just kind of pointless. There's no real reason to besides saying, hey, I'm part of this squadron and we control this many systems or something like that along those lines. It's just kind of empty at the end of the day. Next is having a market. They never came up with an in-game economy. He's just talking about how the market and economy just don't matter besides seeing your credits go up, so he just wants a more in-depth system. Having a ship hold, they never came up with the idea of storing cannon cartridges, rockets, or consumables in it, etc. I really like this idea. Now this is super cool because have you thought about all the times that you've wanted to have like use missiles for PvE, but it's just not feasible to really use missiles besides messing around. Like you're always kind of stuck on lasers, maybe use some multi-cannons here and there, but there's no real good way to be able to use items with consumable ammo. Like I know there's like rail guns and plasma accelerators have a plasma slug that you use it from your fuel tank, but this would be really cool to make it more feasible to use weapons with consumable ammo and like PvE scenarios. So I really like this idea. And now overall, I think No Name here, it just wants more depth in a lot of these systems in the game because it feels very shallow when you look at it. Like you have all this cool stuff that could be awesome that we could be engaging with, but at the end of the day, we just don't, because they just don't lack the depth to really dig in with it. I know BGS is really in depth, but there's no real reason to engage in it. Is I guess what I'm saying. The next commenter we have is Michael, and he just wants from missions just be able to choose rewards, like material rewards for engineering. That way he can get the stuff he needs. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think it'd be a great addition to the game, just quality of life. So I like that suggestion a lot. Thank you, Michael. The next commenter says, I think Elite would benefit from a simulated fit feature like on EVE Online. I haven't played EVE Online, so maybe some of you other guys will get it. But he goes on to say, in which you can save and see the statistics of a ship without buying them so that you can see if you're not running over the power grid. It would be cool to be able to transport modules as if they were cargo. I think these are both great suggestions. Being able to see the simulated fit, as he calls it, would be really nice to have in games that you could theory craft ships in game, because right now you have to go to an outside source to do this and get all the numbers and do all the number crunching on an outside source. It'd be really cool to be able to do this in game. transport modules as if they were cargo. This would just be a great feature because instead of having to pay to have all your modules shipped everywhere, you could just do it yourself and it would be there when you got there. So this is a very cool feature. I mean, I know that you can just equip a bunch of modules on a ship and go somewhere, but like being able to put them in cargo racks would be so much more convenient and nice. The next comment is from Eclipse, and they would really like to have the ability to view my ship's paints and kits without having to undock from the station and find the right lighting. Or putting on a kit, you can't see it since it's obscured by the whole of the station. You can only see a section of the kit most of the time, and it's difficult to decide if it even looks good, and same goes for paint job. Now, this is a great suggestion, and it's crazy that they haven't done this since they make money from selling arcs and to buy kits. And it's extremely frustrating and time consuming to get your ship looking exactly how you would like it, because you put on your ship kit and your paint and then you have to fly out, find the right spot so that you can see it well, learn all the camera controls, which are different from the ship controls a lot of time I found. So you might have to go rebind everything. And if you decide you don't really like how a particular thing looks, you have to go fly back to the station, dock, go back into the menu, change it, and then repeat this until you get something that you like. It is crazy to me that they haven't done anything here to fix this. So thank you, Eclipse, for those great suggestions. I think that would add a lot to the game and has been a personal annoyance from me in this game for a while. The next commenter, Ethan, has the next few suggestions here, so we'll go over them each individually. Some racetrack style stations, that would be cool. Just the map, nothing else, it would be enough. Even that training station from the tutorial. Player groups could do races, PvP, could meet up there to fight, just some locations that would encourage player interaction. Yeah, adding racing to the game or places where that you could race better, it's never made sense to me that this hasn't been in the game, because there are ships that seem like they're specifically for racing, like the Mamba or something like that. But yeah, anything to encourage more player interaction is good. I think one of the best parts about playing this game is getting involved with the community and doing stuff with other people is a lot of fun. So anything that encourages that is a great suggestion. Ethan's next suggestion is make open world control stations for power play, squadrons, or wings, a station that is designed like CQC. Make it give credits to the controlling faction as long as they control it and are in the area. That would be some fun open world PvP. I agree with this as well. Anything to give PvPers more stuff to do so that they're not killing noobs and Deciat or whatever. Or I shouldn't say noobs, but newer players giving them bad experiences of the game. A lot of the reason they do that is there's just nothing like this in the game, so I think this is a great suggestion. I think would add a lot to increasing the PvP community, getting more people involved and giving them something more fun to do. Ethan's next suggestion is an exploration reward multiplier for unexplored systems. Now, I'm not an explorer, so I had to get some clarifying points from Ethan on this. Basically what he's saying is when you explore an unexplored system, the reward multiplier isn't high enough for the time and effort put in to explore new systems versus just going to already exploring systems and like scanning the Earth-like planets, just making it more worth it to go out and do exploration. I think this is a good idea. Surprised they haven't done that already, actually. Ethan's next suggestion is fix power play, make the merits decay start after 4 weeks. When you make 50 million in a week and it costs 100 million to get 10,000 merits, and all while it's decaying at 50% a week, is pretty rough. Now, I think power play needs a lot more work than that personally, but this would definitely be a good starting place to at least make it worth it financially to do. So another great suggestion. Thank you, Ethan. The next suggestion is from David, and it's a quality of life implementation I'd like to see is a hotkey to toggle Super Cruise Assist and request docking. The menu juggling is pretty annoying. And I think this is a good quality of life suggestion. There are already so many hotkeys and bindings in this game. Why not add 2 more that would just make the quality of life better? And there's been quite a few times I've been fighting my auto dock not to kill me while I try to go over to the menu to power it down so it doesn't try to auto land me. So doing something like this could definitely fix that. Although the next commenter is Sergeant Ep. An outfitting and ship catalog would be nice so that you know where stuff is at and you don't have to spend countless hours hunting down specific modules. The fitting UI is frustrating to navigate and can take quite a while to find what you want, especially if you have it stored on another ship, so this would be a nice quality of life feature to add. The next commenter is Victor, and they say, let's transform CQC into a fully unlocked arcade where everybody is able to instantly play with whatever ship and equipment they want without wasting time. This is pretty self-explanatory. Once more reason to do CQC And I like this idea because you could really test out ship builds before wasting the engineering materials on building it. So I think this is a great suggestion. Thank you, Victor. The next commenter, Blind as a Bat, says they would like to see an improvement with the UI, possible to increase contrast, and that they find most text hard to read. First off, this username checks out. And I am all for being able to customize the UI more, especially for people that find it hard to read or hard to look at or something along those lines. I think this would be a great addition to the game, and they really should have been working on this and doing something like this years ago. Play with Fire Gaming has the next few suggestions, and they say allow fleet carriers to really trickle in money, set up a weekly income based on modules, equipment, and carrier locations. Not too much, but not too little. And this is kind of going back to a previous comment about the economy and different stuff not really having meaning, and I think this would be a way to add more depth and meaningful economy stuff with fleet carriers, so I think I do like this suggestion. Their next suggestion is reward power play better, and the BGS system are incredibly complex and rather enjoyable to play with. They can create some intense MMO action fighting over controlling space, such as high fleet carrier payout locations, but at a 50 mil weekly pay rollout for an insane amount of time, it's just ludicrous. And again, we see people wanting more in-depth and meaningful stuff to engage with power play and BGS and along those lines. Play with Fire Gaming's next suggestion is reward PvP bounties better. Don't make it harder to operate on a bounty. Make PvP bounties accrue at a higher rate, so that if you can easily and normally get a 10 million credit bounty on a player, just make the fighting more intense. This player wants a more in-depth PvP system. I like that idea. I think giving more reasons for people to PvP and not just kill new players is always a good thing, and something that this game has sorely been missing for a long time. Thank you for all the suggestions. Play with Fire Gaming. Starly is the next contributor, and they say, I honestly don't understand why make the grinding engineer so frustrating. Unfortunately, the frustration can be used in some games to push you to buying premium account, premium vehicles for real money or something like that. In Elite, you can only buy cosmetics, and it's annoying players with such pointless grind that they are losing players, which means less people will buy cosmetics, which equals less profit. So Starly here is just frustrated that this game has like pay-to-win grinding mechanics, but it's not pay to win, so it makes no sense, which makes it all the more frustrating when you don't understand why they are doing that. I wholeheartedly agree and like this suggestion to reduce the grind. The next comment for this video is the grinding materials, in my opinion, should be 75% less. If you try to gather materials naturally, it takes almost a week, and that's if you're playing a lot, or you can cheese it, which still takes a long time, but it's less fun, at least for me. Also, NPC fighters, in my opinion, should be reworked. I think it would be awesome to be able to form a wing with NPC fighters for people that don't have friends to play the game. I like the suggestion a lot. Obviously, anything that's going to reduce the grind, I'm all for, and having NPC fighters would be a cool addition to the game. I'm not referring to the fighters that you put in your ship. I'm talking about like, hey, you can go recruit an NPC with an engineered FDL to be in your wing and go fight with you for certain missions that can be beneficial and a lot of fun and a great addition to the game. True Vulgarian is our next commenter, and they say being able to organize your bookmarks would be nice. Why not add that to the Galaxy map filter options? You want to see your mining bookmarks? Here you go. Combat? No problem. Pure exploration? That would be such a small but meaningful improvement to the Galaxy map. And I wholeheartedly agree. This would be very cool to be able to just filter by certain bookmarks and see what's closest, or if you want to be able to do stuff like that. I think this would be a very nice and useful addition to the game. Richard is our next commenter, and they say, how about module organization? Finding stored modules that I want is nuts sometimes. And I agree, the outfitting UI is pretty rough, and having some more ways to navigate it better or something like that would be a very welcome change. Thank you all for your suggestions on the low-hanging fruit video. I enjoyed seeing what you all had to say, and you have opened my eyes to even more simple issues that they could fix, from gameplay loops I don't necessarily engage with a lot, or just ones that I have been so used to that I overlooked them. This was a lot of fun to make. Sorry it took me so long to get it out. Things have been busy. I genuinely enjoyed all your suggestions and comments on the video, and I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Thank you.